Hello, fourth graders. All right, today is Friday. Happy March 26th. All right, today in math, we went over the benchmark. And so I was talking to specific students that were on about some questions. And so we were rotating all throughout. And when students weren't with me working on one of the questions that was missed, they were working on ST Math or Prodigy or both. And we were just talking about why we chose what we chose, and then we made some corrections. And if you want to take a look at that, that's on Seesaw under the benchmark math review here. And then going back here and reading, we had some time to continue working on our March Women's Month research project. So throughout this week, we had Monday, we picked a person and then gathered resources. Tuesday, we were talking about their early life. Wednesday, major accomplishments. And then we talked about also why our person is worth celebrating. Students were told that they could use a either Seesaw or a Google Slides presentation, to present the information. And so they had some really awesome projects that were shared today. So we went through and did that. If I called a name and they were not ready to share, they were encouraged to put that on Seesaw, or everybody needed to upload it to Seesaw. And the ones that weren't ready in time, they were to continue working on that and then upload theirs to Seesaw when they finished. So we did lots of cool presentations and learned about some women who are doing some amazing things and definitely worth celebrating. In writing, we worked on our composition. So today we were revising, editing, and publishing. So we had some work time on that. And then we were also sharing. That is in your Seesaw under here, week 28 writing. So your composition that you've been working on this week was to write about a time in your life that you'll never forget. So yesterday you were to create your central idea and start your brainstorming, and today we're putting our final here. So we had lots of presentations today. So we were presenting those that were finished with that. Then, all right, mini check states of matter. I had said yesterday we would go over the volume one today. So we talked about that. So let me open up that one. And it says, what is volume? Volume is the amount of space that an object takes up. We found that this amount here, you look at the 2 and the 3, it's between here. There's 10 jumps that you're making when you go from the 2 to a 3 or the 1 to the 2. So we know that each time we're jumping a tenth. So if we look at this bottom part right here, remember, we don't want to look at the sides. We want to look at where it hits down here in the middle at the bottom. And that is 2 holes and 6/10, so 2.6 milliliters. Here, if you can't see this, the zoom is right over here on the left-hand side, so you can make this a little bit bigger and see it easier. Same thing here. This one, however, is counting by 1, so we said, okay, if this is 40, we jump, that would be 41, 42, 43, so 43 milliliters. Highlight that. Then going down, this one we found the difference. So we had to find the one on the left, the one on the right, and then we subtracted those to find the difference there. And then to accurately measure, all of these tools that we're using to measure are called a graduated cylinder. So we went over that one together, and then we did the states of matter, this one on our own, and got that turned in. Then there are, you can watch this you can watch this because we watched that also. And there's some other links here. These, when you click them, you have to be logged into your STEM. You know what? I'm going to actually take these off because We didn't actually get, just make sure, we did the first one. Make sure you get that one. All right, social studies. We did today's article and questions. It was all about supply and demand. Make sure when you click it, there are 2 links. So if you go to Friday, there's this first one, and then there's a second one. And so make sure the second one's a video. So make sure you click on this. And then the question is, what happens in the video? So this is talking about the second one here. What happens in the video with Sarah's cookies, and how does she solve the problem? And then what might happen to the price of cars if the supply is too high? So this is talking about supply and demand, and it's talking about choices that a company has versus, like, if they have a lot of an item, maybe the supply is high, meaning they made too much of something and people aren't really trying, the demand is low, people aren't really trying to, they're not interested in buying it. They may give a coupon, or they may give a special discount. Or sometimes you'll see when an item is in high demand, meaning lots of people want a certain item. It may be hard to find because the stores are sold out. Those times stores they may hike up the price, or they're probably not going to offer a discount or any coupons, because people, since the demand is so high, people are going to be willing to pay more for the item. So this is connecting it to oil that we've been talking about. So it was talking about how there was this nice balance, because the railroads that were being made balanced out with the oil that was being found, and so there was a nice balance, which mean we had nice, healthy economy. When one of those things is too high or too low, that's when things aren't so healthy. So all right, so here there's a video or 2 videos. You can watch this and think about when you think about, like, the demand for things. Like, so when we had this whole pandemic, and when we had the snow, think about all the stuff that people were, there was just a demand for all of these things that people needed. And think about what that looked like, if, like, with all the snow, when I went to the grocery store, I've never seen shelves so empty, because there was such a high demand. People trying to get food and things like that. So think about that and make those connections. And then the last 40, 30 so minutes, we had Fun Friday. So if you didn't get to participate in that, make sure you get all your things in. And then the link is on Google Classroom. And that was our Friday. All right, so wrapping up, make sure everything gets turned in. We are entering into our 3rd week already. So we're already going to finish up this next week, and then boom, progress reports. So make sure you're happy with the first 2 weeks of grades. Make sure if there was any test, we had our angles test is on Seesaw here. Where is it? Down here on the bottom, angles test. Make sure this unit 8 gets corrected if you haven't done that. And some of these things in Seesaw, the things that just say week 28, those need to be turned in. But these that say week 28 and 29, those are going to be, those can sit there. This one's 28-30. So these things can hang out there, but the rest, make sure you're getting your things turned in. And then in Google Classroom, under week 28, all of this should be grayed out. So you should not see any dark green here. Alrighty. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday. Bye, guys.